Now that you've completed the detailed design for your organizational effort, it's time to turn your attention to the final phase of the work, the implementation. While it's definitely important to start thinking about implementation at the beginning of your effort, executing the critical steps to translate what's on paper to a successful reality requires common sense and a well-structured approach. And that's what we're going to share throughout this video. We're going to tell you what a good implementation looks like and what to think about as you're planning and executing it. The implementation phase is what makes your organizational effort real. After you've done a lot of work to imagine, plan, and design the changes, implementation is when new roles, new behaviors, and the new normal start to take place. In a way, you really have to take a step back and revisit key elements of the effort. Who is really impacted? Who needs to know what? How will you make sure that the implementation achieves your objectives? Implementation is your last opportunity to really maximize the chances of success for what you've designed. There are several elements that you need to have to make your implementation successful, and we're going to take a look at them. First, now that the new organization has been defined, really understanding and planning for the impacts of the changes that the new organization will bring is essential. It's your ticket to lowering the pain of the transition and maximizing your outcomes. Second, having a solid stakeholder and communication plan goes a long way in helping you out at this critical juncture. It helps you reiterate why you're doing the effort. It helps you identify how your stakeholders are going to help you out through the rollout. And then it also helps you connect the different audiences to their what's in it for me approach, and so that they can support the effort. Thirdly, spend some time defining what will really make the implementation successful. You're going to end up with 4 to 5 key criteria, and your implementation plan should definitely incorporate them. And finally, having a clear transition plan that covers the actual rollout of the changes and also the necessary training, the metrics, the changes to the processes needed to make your organization come to life, that's really also very important. All right, let's take a look at 4 key practices that help you drive a successful implementation. The first one is make it relevant for me. Whatever the reality the change will bring about for an employee, that will become how they perceive the organizational effort. So you have to create opportunities for positive feedback, like asking people to do something small but new and tangible so that they associate that to the change. Also, you can encourage people to share what immediate benefits the changes are bringing to them in a testimonial and share it with others. Keeping your effort as connected to the real-life work of the audiences continuously throughout the implementation, that's what's going to create the new reality and ultimately success. Second, over-communicate the good and quickly address the bad. No effort is perfect. So recognize that up front and have a system to deal with questions and uncertainty. Quickly providing answers or options is what raises the credibility of your implementation. You're showing that you've thought it through, and you're also staying flexible, and people connect to that. Thirdly, engage your sponsors and change agents to promote the change. Throughout the effort up until now, you've relied on these key stakeholders to help you shape the solution. So now it's time to engage them more visibly with key audiences so that they see the change is positive, important, and here to stay. And then finally, after the transition, summarize your results, declare victory, and close the effort. People recognize achievements in cycles, and it helps them move on to understand that something is complete. So take the chance to tell them and thank them and reward people as a part of that. And most importantly, lock the door on going back to the old way by formally closing the effort and recognizing the new normal. So here you go. This was a quick review of the implementation phase. Watch the next video for a step-by-step review of how to build and execute your implementation.